The air in O'Malley's pub was thick with the usual Friday night buzz, laughter, clinking glasses, and the low hum of conversation. I was nursing my usual pint, tucked away in my favorite corner booth, just soaking it all in. That's when I first noticed him. An old man, his uniform jacket a little faded, but still crisp. He had a service cap perched on his head, adorned with a few pins that glinted in the dim light. A veteran, no doubt. He sat alone at a small table near the window, a half-finished drink in front of him, a quiet dignity about him that made him stand out amongst the boisterous crowd. He seemed to be enjoying the quiet solitude, lost in his own thoughts, maybe remembering old times. But then, a sharp, irritated voice cut through the air. It was Mike, the new manager, a young guy with more ambition than sense, always trying to modernize the place. He was standing over the old veteran's table, an impatient look on his face. "Excuse me, sir," Mike said, a little too loudly, "but this table is reserved. I'm going to have to ask you to move." The old man looked up, startled. His eyes, though a little clouded with age, held a surprising depth. "Reserved?" he asked, his voice a gentle rumble. "I've been sitting here for an hour, son. No one said anything about it being reserved." Mike just scoffed, adjusting his tie. "Well, it is now. We have a party of 6 coming in, and they specifically requested this spot. So, if you could just gather your things." He even made a little shooing motion with his hand. A ripple of unease went through the pub. People started to quiet down, their eyes drawn to the scene. You could feel the tension building. This old man, a veteran who likely fought for our freedom, was being treated like an inconvenience. It just didn't sit right. The veteran slowly began to gather his belongings, his movements deliberate, a hint of sadness in his posture. He wasn't arguing, not raising his voice. Just accepting it, that quiet dignity still intact, even in the face of such disrespect. My heart ached for him. I wanted to say something, but what? I was just one person. Just as he was about to stand, a deep, resonant voice cut through the silence. "Excuse me, manager." Everyone turned. 6 men had risen from a large table in the back. They weren't loud, weren't boisterous. They were just standing. And the way they stood, so straight, so calm, so utterly in control, it commanded attention. They were all in civilian clothes, but there was something about them, a shared intensity in their eyes, a quiet strength that radiated from them. One of them, a broad-shouldered man with a watchful gaze, stepped forward. "Did you just ask this gentleman to leave his table?" he asked, his voice low, but carrying across the room. Mike, clearly unnerved by their presence, stammered a bit. "Well, yes, sir. This table is reserved for a party of 6, and you see, we have a booking." The man held up a hand, stopping Mike mid-sentence. He then turned to the old veteran, a respectful nod of his head. "Sir," he said, his voice softer now, "we are that party of 6, and we would be honored if you would join us." The old veteran's eyes widened a little. He looked from the man to his companions, then back to Mike, who was now utterly speechless, his face a mixture of shock and embarrassment. The first man continued, "In fact, we insist. This table, and our company, is yours for the evening, if you'll accept." It was a beautiful moment. You could feel the collective sigh of relief, the wave of warmth that spread through the pub. Mike looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. The veteran, a slow smile spreading across his face, finally spoke. "Well now," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "I reckon I'd like that very much." He walked over to their table, and as he approached, each of the 6 men extended a hand, shaking his with genuine respect. They pulled out a chair for him, and he settled in, looking more relaxed than he had all evening. I watched them for a while, these quiet heroes. They didn't make a big show of it. They didn't need to. Their actions spoke volumes. I later learned from the bartender that they were a group of Navy SEALs, just back from deployment, having a quiet reunion. They didn't know the old veteran, but they recognized the uniform, the quiet pride, the sacrifice it represented. They understood. That night, O'Malley's pub wasn't just a place for drinks and chatter. It became a place where respect was given, where honor was recognized, and where a few good men reminded us all what truly matters. It was a moment I'll never forget.